This afternoon I'm just going to show you how I transplant coriander that was seeded in a modular seed tray and how I transplant it into a prepared bed. So this coriander was seeded on the 23rd of February. It was in a propagator, so it has come on really well. And now it's time to transplant. You can see from the base, I mean, the roots are just barely peeping out at the bottom, and that's normally the first indicator that the transplants are ready to go into the ground. So if I use just an old bit of a willow stick and I pop them out from the bottom. You don't want to pull from the top because they're still very delicate, and you know, you don't want to pull the tops off them. So you can see there it has a nice little root ball. These were multi-sown. There's 6 seeds per module cell, and what I do then is I just pop them into the ground. To the left of me, which is to the right of the camera, you can see this is coriander that was seeded last October. And I started to pull off it 2 weeks ago, so it's come on really strong just since the days have lengthened and there's a bit of warmth in the tunnel. So that actually will probably go to seed in another week. So I'll get a cutting off it next week and then it'll start to go to seed. So right now then I'm just going to show you how I transplant. So basically just pull back the ground. This was a prepared bed. Last year there was tomatoes in this bed, so it's quite fertile. So what I did then, once the tomatoes came out, I just top dressed with a layer of spent mushroom compost, and that was put on this part of the bed last autumn, and then I just top dressed this part today before I start to transplant in. So it's going into a prepared bed. And when I just basically pull back the soil and just push in the transplants. You just want to make sure that you don't bury the growing point, which is right here. So you can drop them in anywhere down below that. And I'm spacing about 3 to 4 inches apart in the ground. Just push them in like that, and that's it. To get them, I think I said that already, did I? To get them out of the seed tray, just pop them out like that. So you continue on then down the row, and then I'll continue on here, the second row and the third row. And I usually offset the second row, which would mean that I will put the seedlings in between here. And that just makes it a little easier if you were weeding with a hoe. But because I have the spent mushroom compost on top, which is actually clean, there'll be no need really to weed this bed. Another thing I forgot to mention, before I transplant, I always water the seed tray. So just what you want to do is you just want to reduce any stress that the plant would have. But because they're all grown in a bunch, when you pop them out, they're pretty much, the minimum amount of disturbance is really what I'm aiming for. So just pop them straight into the ground, cover them up, and there you go. And I just wanted to point out behind me here, this was last year's coriander, so it would have been seeded probably July, August, and I would have pulled off that or harvested it November, December time, and now you can see that it's going to seed. And it's just good to note that the leaf changes in coriander as it goes to seed, in addition to the taste. So that's pretty much gone now. I'm going to pull that out and put it in the compost heap. So that's just a little few points on transplanting coriander into the polytunnel.